It's been a hot minute since I've done daily devotional. I apologize. I had a week where my husband was home for a week, and doing daily devotional when I don't know when he's going to be down, or there's always extra noise. And then the heat kicked in, and I am not a warm weather person. I am a cold weather person. I live in Montana on purpose because I love the cold weather. And climate change is real, and we have experienced so much warm weather in the summers the last couple years that my personal experience of warm weather summers has been quite miserable for a couple years. But a couple wonderful things have happened. So the other thing I wanted to mention before I got started today is, if you have not joined us before, my name is Red Moon Eagle, and you are watching Daily Devotions with Red Moon Eagle. I always drink up a little cup of tea here. This is something I do for me every day. And I started doing this in 2015 or 17. I can't remember what date. With y'all, and it started off as a cup of tea, and then I realized that it was really more of a devotional. It was more of a exploration of a topic or a theme, and now I do my own personal daily devotions, and then sometimes I get to the point where I can do it with y'all. I was doing them Monday through Friday pretty consistently, so now there's over 365 days worth of daily devotions out. And now I've kind of tapered back to doing them twice or 3 times a week. It kind of depends on the week. And as I mentioned earlier, some weeks I don't get them out at all. We are in the tide of completion, which is the summer solstice to the spring equinox. There are 4 tides in the year, and this cycle of daily devotion is exploring the energy of the tides. The other thing that happened is that we are following a numeric flow of energy in the next set. So we are following completely by universe bringing me very specific oracle cards that follow some natural activation energies in the body, and so that's what we're doing with this cycle, and we'll just dive into it, and I'll just keep sharing as we go. I hope you are all having a beautiful day, and it's been a while since I've been here and present, so this should be exciting. Okay, so the first card is the Cosmic Flower in the Sacred Geometry Activations, which I think is hilarious. I still giggle every time I pull this deck out because the name of the Oracle deck is Sacred Geometry Activations, and we are following an Activation Transformational Flow. So I get a kick out of that. Okay. So this card, totally tagged the wrong one in the book. I was thinking about something else, wasn't I? Okay, here we go. 18, Cosmic Flower. The frequency of the cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. Like the flower that draws the hummingbird to drink its nectar, the energy of cosmic flower invites us to keep returning to our cosmic core to drink from the nectar of our origin. Like the tiny bird, yet great skillfully, we need to recognize that in order to be our highest expression here on earth, we need to check in with our home base, our source, often. It is the place where we connect to our spiritual core. The cosmic flower activation is overflowing with all aspects of the fullest expression of who we really are. An abundance of vibrant color, form, fragrance, and sound. The energy that stimulates our senses to the maximum makes us feel alive in every cell of our body. It is an invitation to enjoy the sweetness of life, to lift up negativity and express love as abundantly as we dare. Flowers have been given to us as an expression of love, affection, and sympathy, and intention for thousands of years. Their beauty reminds us of how wonderful life can be when expressed fully. The green center of this flower represents the heart as the center of our being and the core of our experience here on earth. The bright oranges and reds are representing our passion, our creativity, and our strength. The number 6 is associated with love and relationship, harmony and balance, all the elements that make the human experience worthwhile. The dark background refers to the deep and dark universe where we connect to our place of origin, the place we call home. Ooh. And that's apparently all I'm going to get to read in that book. It just fell on the floor. Hold on a minute. Oh my goodness, what a day. Okay, let's get back to it. Yes, okay. So, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Connect that part of you that is closer to the source. So lift your chin a little bit. Think of the under part of your chin and your entire neck. Lift it, close your eyes, and then open your eyes gently. Don't open them really big. Just open them gently and look. Look at the camera. Look at who we are connected together. This is the part of you that is divine. Breathe in your magnificence. When was the last time that you took a minute to connect to Source? And then take a little minute and lift the back of your head like you have a string coming up the back of your head. Lift your ears, lift your chin a little bit. And this is like a 1-5 activation. I always find that to do a 1-5 together, I really need to use my lower abdomen for balance when I stack that. Okay, so cosmic flower, the frequency that activates the remembrance of the place we call home. Very important. Okay, we're gonna move on to the second one and then we'll come back to that one. I'm gonna bookmark that better. I don't know why I bookmarked that. I'll have to go back and explore what I did there. Because sometimes I do stuff unconsciously and I don't know why. Okay. The next one is the 2-4, or the 2-6 in our thing, but this is number 9, the Evil Queen. Isn't that a beautiful card? The artistry in this particular De la Nuit oracle is just gorgeous. My story. I am the fairest of them all, or at least I used to be. Lately my magic mirror had the nerve to tell me that my stepdaughter Snow White is even fairer than me, which led me to some jealous rage, as you can imagine. I cannot let anyone dethrone me, so right now I'm evolving a diabolical plan, including dark forest, cruel hunters, and poisoned apples, and we'll see who's the fairest in the end. The message: I can feel jealousy, rivalry, and unhealed and unhealthy competition. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about. Are you the jealous one, or are you surrounded by envious people? In both cases, be very cautious. A heart that is filled with jealousy can play many evil little tricks that lead to chaos and destruction. So if you want to calm and freedom of mind, keep out of this meaningless rivalry. By doing so, you'll be the smartest of them all. I love that. We're going to get back to this 2-6 one because I have things on that one. Okay, in the Mausule Oracle of Souls, I pulled Hathor, and this is such a beautiful card. Hathor, Mistress of Harmony, Mediation, Communication, and Culture. And I just want you to take a minute to look at that beautiful artwork. So Mistress of Harmony in this deck is the dominion of the Duat. The dominion of Duat is the center of secrets, ritual, and mystery. In its temples and deserts and monuments, the true nature of being, reality, and creation are hidden, unlocked. only through adherence to its rites and rituals. To dwell in the duat is to face the realities most hide from most thoroughly. How well do you know yourself, your desires, and whether your heart and intentions are pure? For in the duat, these will surely be judged. And so Hathor is the mistress of harmony. The goddess of love, joy, dance, and music serve as the front of culture in the art of the duat. She serves as the diplomat and the mediator to the other gods, resolving disputes between them, both within the realm and between the duat and other realms. Hathor reminds us of the pleasures of life and that they are more difficult to enjoy when they are outstanding problems between people. If you cannot serve as a mediator yourself, perhaps it is wise to seek one out. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. We're going to come back to that one. Okay. In the Lantern Oracle, we have a card that is part of phase 2. It's number 16, and it's in the phase of the mother, young adulthood. The melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. A role becomes a mask when it distorts, constricts, or conceals rather than reflects a true expression of your spirit self. A mask typically arises out of the ego's desire to be real and control when, in fact, it is neither. The ego, like body emotions, are tools. Their function, when used appropriately or proportionally, is to give authentic form and expression of your spirit self. Drawing this card signifies the impending loss of a mask to an encounter, an event, or circumstance that incites melting. A period of confusion, turmoil, or grief may follow this mask's dissolution. Okay, before I get too far into that, I really want to point out that all of these cards today are very much bringing forward the whole purpose of the transformational sequence. Something I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, I really want to get back to daily devotions. Why has it been so difficult to get back to daily devotions? What's happening? And I realized that's what's happening is that, and I wrote a little bit about this, is that when you follow a transformational flow of energy in anything, there is a realignment, it's a realignment. It's a modulation that occurs. And that remodulation helps you align more with purpose. It helps you align more with universe. It helps you get rid of drift and draft and extra things that you don't need in your world moving forward. You melt the mask. So when I'm looking at the cards for today, Cosmic Flower, the frequency that activates the remembrance of what we call home, the core of which we pour our magnificence out into the world, the real you, right? The real you is a spiritual entity living a meat suit experience. Those of you who have joined me since I've started really talking about it this way, you might want to go back. I have hundreds of videos, so I don't even know which one's which anymore. But I have been talking about the spirit, who you are as an entity, living a meat suit experience for a very long time. And one of the things that we forget in our day-to-day life is that comes first. Who we are when we come into a meat suit is that spiritual entity as a small baby child experiencing this big vast world, and we spend years trying to get used to the body, like feeding it and nourishing it and building all of those connections in the body as we're growing that anchors our spirit into this world so that we have a full dynamic experience. And this card reminds us that we are indeed spiritual entities. And we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised in families that have a lot of trauma, we often, when we are raised we are raised in an atmosphere where the spiritual entity, as it comes into this meat suit, is not honored for the complexity of who it is. And then what happens is we get caught up. And the evil queen reminds us that we get caught up in jealousy, rivalry. We get caught up in unhealthy competitions. We get caught up in losing ourselves. Who am I? Who am I? Am I not good enough to love? Why can't you honor who I am as a spiritual entity? These are questions this card brings up in the flow. And we get lost. We get lost in all of that dynamic, and we lose sight of who we are as spiritual entities. And one of the things this card is reminding us of is that it is very easy to get caught up in all of those things, losing your identity, losing your purpose, losing the things that inspire you and help you connect to other people in an authentic and real way. And then Hathor. And Hathor reminds us that as spiritual entities, sometimes we need a reminder, okay? In the sequence, this is very much the reminder card today. It's the sequence of reminding us of the joy and the depth of our spiritual selves. It also reminds us that we are constantly being shown by universe what we need to hear, not always what we want to hear. We are reminded in this sequence that it doesn't have to be perfect, and that there's love and depth and joy and perfection of the soul. We don't have to worry about the meat suit experience being perfect at all, because the soul is, love is perfect. And we also are being given messages constantly by the universe, and our messengers are often the ones that care the most, that are the most misunderstood, and that who we are as spiritual entities, we give messages to ourselves. We're constantly in a place where we need to hear ourselves. And we also need to honor that we bring this amazing potential of joy and love into every circumstance. And it can get easy to get lost. And then the final card, the melting mask, reinforces this. A role becomes a mask when it distorts, constricts, conceals, rather than reflects the true expression of our spirit self. This is the ultimate experience of the human meat suit experience, is that we have who we are as spiritual entities. We have come into this realm of experience, and we are here, and we have melted into this body, this physical form that for many people looks nothing like their true form. It doesn't look like anything of who they are as a true entity. And this form, this human form, when we ironically become truly aligned with it and listen to the body and are taking care of it and honoring it as the altar that it is, the gift from Mother Goddess to experience this world, when we do all the things we're supposed to do and honor that body, she in turn helps melt the mask so that our true form can shine through. And there is an alignment that happens with that in our expression into the world. So it's very interesting. Today's theme is very much about who we are as spiritual entities, and how do we let that be seen in the world in our everyday life? How do we align in that transformation? And I was thinking yesterday that one of the things that's happened with daily devotions is that I've adopted this transformational process through these cards. And as a result, the energy of the world when I sit down to do daily devotions is not always lined up to do a live daily devotion. And I thought about it yesterday. I thought, well, why is that? And I thought, oh, I've adopted an energy, I've adopted a process in this cycle of completion, that in the tides of the year, the completion tide is about summer solstice to the fall equinox, which is things have been growing, we are moving into fall energy, we will be doing harvests, it's the hottest time of the year, and it also highlights in the tide of completion all of the things that are incomplete, that are preparing to be ready for the next layer of the tidal movement of the year. And the transformation process is also part of highlighting the changes needed and the awareness needed for movement forward. And when anybody who's done any kind of psychic readings or energy readings or healing work or anything like that, you become very aware of the more different kinds of modalities that you incorporate, the more impactful things can be. Either that or that things go out of alignment and nothing happens. But something that's happening with daily devotions, I surmise, is both through my meditation last night and then pulling these cards today, is that when the energy that I'm using every single day during daily devotions is pulling from these 4 layers of a transformational process that widen space, bring more energy forward that is moving, more transformational, and it's also unmasking. It's unmasking the layers, right? It's unmasking the layers in an authentic way. A couple months ago, and I even think I said it in one of my daily devotions, I was like, I used to I tried really hard to do every single day, and I did for a long time. I did every single day, Monday through Friday, and then something shifted, and I didn't do it for a long time. And then when I came back to it, I realized, I can't do it every single day. I've got so many other things going on, and universe has some things it wants me to do. And physiologically, my body also needs different rhythms right now. And another layer is there's a lot I'm moving forward in the world. There's a lot of transformational things going in many layers, and there's only one physical body. There's only one meat suit here. And I have to honor Mother Earth's gift of that meat suit. And I have to do things that help the meat suit be able to do things in the future. And it's okay that I step back and allow my energy helpers to help me, my animal companions to help me, my fellow energy workers to help me. I have to not fall into the trap of what everybody says something should be for success, because that's not what success is in my world. And to allow the abundance and the vastness of who I am as an entity also come through, so that I can highlight other people and I can help the healing process as I'm supposed to. And we all do it in different ways, and we all do it from an authentic place when we're in a healthy place. And the transformational process is very much about bringing not just movement, and not just transformation, but healing, and healing to connect back to who you are as a spiritual entity living a meat suit experience. And we have a lot of entities that are here from a lot of different places in the universe that are actively working with all these amazing entities that have been asleep or deeply traumatized. I work with people who are actively wanting to be out in the world because they recognize that They are the healers of their own families, and they are the healers for others. And we heal each other together in community. No one should be in isolation. We need each other. It's an antithesis to our Western culture to say that you need someone. The Western culture has swung in the pendulum to this toxic place of such hyper independence that we don't know how to support each other anymore. We don't know what that looks like. And we don't know how to help each other heal. And there's this fear paradigm of what that looks like. And we don't know how to help each other. And the sequence of this transformational flow helps you and helps me. As I do these, the energy flows out. Daily devotions have always been one of those amazing things that I put it out into the universe and I watch it cascade. And that's what this does. So it may seem as though daily devotions have tapered off and I'm not doing them, but I am. And I'm doing them very consciously and intentionally as I do them, because I'm becoming more and more aware of the impact that this transformational flow does with 4 separate oracle cards, which means there's 40, 50 plus, depending on how many cards in the deck, of different ways of aligning times 9. And those messages are very important. And I have a cat who's sneaking up on Astra on the patio, so I'm going to close the door here because she's very territorial, very protective. Well, I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.